12.40 using just the YouTube application, which means you can run this with digital edition consoles that don't have a functioning disk drive, all the way up to firmware 12.40 on the PS5, which is fantastic. Now, there's still a number of issues with this exploit at the moment. It's not the most stable right now, but this is just the initial setup guide to show you how to get it up and running up to firmware 12.40 so you can play around with it. I'll obviously make a full beginner's guide once the jailbreak has matured, once it's more stable. First thing, of course, we need to do is make sure that your console is on a compatible firmware. We can do this by going to Settings and going down to System, System Software, Console Information, and check your system software version. So my system software version is 12.0, but you can do this on firmwares 12.40 and lower, so 12.40 or below are compatible to load this jailbreak. So we can download the p2jb.js file from the original project, and we also need to download a backup file that we can restore onto the console, which will allow us to actually run the YouTube application with the exploit loaded. So there's two backup files you can use right now. There's this autoloader version, which is the one I recommend because generally I find it to be more stable, at least on my console. I will also include how to load the other version as well in case you have more success with that version over this one, but I would recommend trying this one first. So we can go ahead and download the backup file here for this project. If you do end up running into problems with this version, if you're not able to get the jailbreak loaded, then I would recommend downloading this one instead, which is the original YouTube Jailbreak 1.4 backup. If you do end up having any problems, then you can use this backup file instead. You'll also want to download the latest release of kstuff Lite. Just download the kstuff.elf file from this repo, and also a payload injector like netcat GUI, which I'll also leave linked in the video description. Now we need to copy that backup file onto the root of an exFAT formatted USB drive. If you right-click on the drive and go to Properties, you want to make sure the file system is exFAT. If it's anything else, you can back up the data on the USB and then reformat it in exFAT format. And then what we can do is simply open up the backup zip file and extract the PS5 folder onto the root of the USB drive. Do not put it inside any folders, just extract it straight into the root of the drive. And I will also copy over a PS4 fake package file onto the root of the USB drive as well. This is just Minecraft as a fake package. Fake packages can only be loaded on the console when the console is jailbroken, so this will be a test to see if we can get this installed and running on the console after we jailbreak it. That will tell us that we have got the jailbreak fully installed. So now what we can do is go ahead and eject the drive and plug that USB drive into our PS5. Okay, and on the PS5, we're going to go into Settings, scroll down to System Settings, System Software. We go down to Backup and Restore, and we select the option to restore your PS5. Again, I would recommend backing up your own PS5 first before restoring this backup because it does reset your console, factory reset your console, so you lose anything that was on your console previously. So I highly recommend making your own backup file first, just so that you don't permanently lose anything that's on your console. You'll have a backup file you can always restore to get that stuff back in the future. So once you're prepared, you can go ahead and restore your PS5 and restore that backup file to get the YouTube application with the YouTube jailbreak exploit set up on the console. So after restoring the backup file, you'll have a YouTube application installed in the media section. So next, we need to get the network settings configured by heading into Settings, going to Network, Settings, Set up an internet connection. And if you scroll down and you're setting up a wireless network, you don't want to connect to one of your existing networks because that could update the YouTube application as it will connect unprotected. So what you should do if you're connecting to a wireless network is go down to the bottom and set up manually, and then from there, use Wi-Fi, enter manually, and then enter the SSID of your Wi-Fi network, security method WPA, enter the password and all of the other information, but change the DNS settings to manual and set the primary DNS to 127.0.0.1. So go ahead and enter that, and that should get you connected. If you're using a wired connection, you can just press the options button under your wired LAN and go to advanced settings, and then just set the primary DNS also to 127.0.0.1 and click OK and get connected up to your network. Okay, so now all we need to do is load the YouTube application on the PS5 and it should automatically start loading the jailbreak. If you're using the autoloader backup file that I'm using here, you can see it automatically loads p2jb. Now, if you use the original backup file, then it will just be listening on the PS5's IP address and port number. It will not be running anything yet, and you'll just need to open up netcat GUI, your payload injector, put in the PS5's IP address into the host box, and change the port number to 50,000, and then drag in the p2jb.js file, which is the kernel exploit, into the program, and then click the button to inject the payload, and that will start running the jailbreak. But if you use the backup that I recommended, then it should automatically run the jailbreak for you, so you don't have to send it with the payload injector. So now you just need to wait about 50 minutes for this to complete. If the console switches off after the 50 minutes has passed, then it's failed to load the jailbreak and you'll need to boot it back up again, run the YouTube application again, and wait another 50 minutes to load it again. Also, if this master number where it says master equals, if this number is above 34, you should just restart the YouTube application immediately and load it again to try and get this number down to 34 or less, because the lower the number, the better chance the jailbreak will load successfully after the 50-minute wait time. Okay, so after we wait 50 minutes, this is what should happen on a successful run. We get all of these notifications popping up, including the ELF loader running, and once all of the notifications eventually stop, you'll then be able to head back to the home screen, but do not close the YouTube application, as closing it will crash the console with the current version that's available. This issue is likely to get fixed pretty soon, but for now, you just want to avoid closing the application. We can still run some PS4 fake packages by having the application be suspended instead of it being closed, but if you try and close the YouTube application, it will crash, so don't do that, especially since you've been waiting 50 minutes to get it loaded. And we can now send our KStuff payload by switching back over to the computer, opening up Netcat GUI, dragging the KStuff payload inside, and enter the PS5's IP address in the host box, and the port number should be 9021, and then just click Inject Payload. And that will load KStuff on the PS5, which will work up to 12.40, so you'll be able to load this all the way up to 12.40 and start installing and trying to run your PS4 fake packages. So let's go ahead and install the Minecraft package that I put on the root of the USB drive earlier. We can just go into the settings, and after running the jailbreak, you should have the debug settings enabled, so we can go into debug settings, game, and then package installer. And from here, we have our Minecraft package that's on the USB drive showing up. We can select it, and it will start installing that directly onto the console. So once that application is fully installed, we can simply go ahead and press the PS button and then run it, and you'll see that the application loads up no problem. We're still able to load it without crashing the console, but for loading sort of more demanding applications like PS5 games, I think it does force close the YouTube application, which will crash the console. So you can use this to load payloads and get things up and running on your console, get things installed for the jailbreak, get applications installed, run your PS4 fake packages, and maybe some homebrew applications, but we'll have to wait for the issue with the YouTube application crashing when it's closed. We'll need to wait for that issue to be fixed. Now, some people seem to have better luck with stability by putting their console into rest mode and then recovering from rest mode, and that seems to help for some people, but generally, if you're having a lot of stability issues right now, I'd recommend just waiting for some more updates to the jailbreak to improve it. I will, of course, make a full beginner's guide once this jailbreak has matured and it's more stable. I'll have a full beginner's guide for you guys. But anyway, that's just the quick and dirty way of getting the initial version set up on your console up to firmware 12.40. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If you